All right, I just wanted to take a look and share a couple of classic antique vices that I have that are pretty neat. This is it's a pretty old version. This is a Parker 600, which is an 8-inch vise. It weighs about 240 pounds. It opens to, I think, almost 14 inches, and it has a 6.5-inch jaw depth. This is a Vanderman number 3 steamfitters vise, which is the largest one that they made. This opens to about 11 inches, and it has almost a 6-inch jaw depth. And this was actually made in the late 1800s, is when it came out. So I just wanted to go over some of the differences of these and take a look at them. So this one weighs about 150 pounds. Both are fixed vices. There's actually a hole underneath that there's a, this could swivel if it wasn't pinned here, so maybe in theory I could drill different holes and bolt it down, but more or less it's fixed. This is definitely fixed. The Parkers, you actually have to cut out the workbench or bring it up off the workbench, and I don't know if you can see underneath, I actually have I welded a piece to support the jaw because the support ends pretty far back. But this thing is just a massive vise, and it has a massive lead screw. This is 22.5 inches long. It's 1 5/16 inches thick. Both vices are 3 threads per inch. So this the way that this hooks in is a little bit different than that. The vise nut, this is pretty standard. It's about 3 3/4 inches long, or that's how much thread engagement there is. There's a pin in the back that you drive in a hole, and it keeps the vise nut from coming out. We'll take a look. So yeah, this is about 3 3/4 of thread engagement, and then back here this pin keeps the nut from moving, and as you can see it's wedged into place. This is in the cast. If you break the vise nut, in this case, if you could get parts or you can fab something up, this is actually replaceable. And then, like I was saying down here, I actually welded a piece on to support this because this sticks out quite a ways from where it starts coming down on the workbench. So the lead screw goes in through here, and this is open on the bottom, which is also the case with most vices. And the way that it's retained is with this. So the lead screw goes in, this goes against here, and as you back the lead screw out, this captures it and it draws the whole jaw out. So it's not the best design in my opinion. It allows for quite a bit of backlash. I think I can shore it up with these springs. I can get it down to about a half a turn of backlash, but it's not a great design, and as it wears over time, there's not much to account for it. If you look at some of the reeds, they had really good designs, and Athol used a spring inside which would keep pressure on it, and there'd be a lot less backlash. So not one of my favorite parts of Parker's designs, and as a matter of fact, like, of the old vices, Parker's probably, I don't know, in my opinion, maybe there'll be some comments here, but it's more of a pretty basic design. But still, this is massive, and I think 8, and this is actually, and I said this is 8, this is over 8. It's like 8 1/4, and I think they may have had one 8 1/2, but it's pretty much the widest jaws that Parker ever made. And even, I say only 240 pounds, but it's because it's fixed. If you have like a rotating vise, you add all that weight of the base on top of it. So that's the Parker. Like I said, it's about 6.5 inches down to the jaw, and that's the design of it. That's the jaw fully extended, and as you can see, that's quite a bit of throw, and then the lead screw would go in through there. Now, this is the Vanderman, which is quite a bit of a different design. You can see this lead screw is massive. It's only 1.5 inches shorter, but it's 1 3/4 of an inch thick, which is really thick. The design's quite a bit different. It has built-in pipe jaws, but the lead screw is kind of part of the support of the design, and it goes right through the center of the body, which I like. That straight pull design, that's a nice design. And then this goes in 4.5 inches, so you have this massive 1 3/4 inch thick lead screw that has 4.5 inches of thread engagement. Now this was outside for a long time, so these first 2 threads got eaten up a little bit, which one of the problems with this design, as I mentioned with that design, the vice nut's replaceable. The vice nut is part of the body. If you trash that out, you're pretty much out of luck, unless you were to make a bigger lead screw and bore that out more, which would be craziness. So this is what the body slides on, and then it has built-in pipe benders. This was called the steamfitters vise, and we'll put that in there. But with that in the body and full engagement, this opens up to 11 inches. With this fully engaged, the 4.5 inches. So it does a lot with a little. Even though, like I said, this is about 150 pounds, it opens almost as wide as the Parker this way, and it has these built-in pipe jaws. I kind of just made this up because it was missing one, but it works. And these pieces are removable, and then you got the pipe benders. But the way that this lead screw works, it's a little different than the other one. This is what allows it to back out. So the lead screw goes in through here, and this comes on here. And the way it works is here. Let me throw that in. Alright, so the way that works is there's a screw, and you slide that out to the detent, and you thread that screw in. And you can get it pretty close. It's still, it's an older design, no spring pressure or anything, but you tighten that down with as little slop as possible, and then this acts as what gives you the ability to back out. When you turn that lead screw backwards, this pushes against the body and brings it out. And obviously when you're cranking it inwards, you got your pressure right there, and that's how that lead screw works. So it's a little bit different than this one, but those are the 2 vices. Pretty neat old vices. Just wanted to share these. I'll tell you, these are built right in, so I had to fab these up because this jaw was broken off with some shouldered bolts to get that to go, because these are just one piece. It's like, I don't know if it's CAD welded or peened over, but once these go in, they don't come out, or not in one piece. So it was a little bit of an interesting putting this jaw back on, because one of these bolts was broken. But yeah, here are 2 antique vices, both pretty cool, both pretty massive. I kind of like this one better because it's a little more versatile, even though it's not quite as huge, but they're both awesome vices, and I just wanted to share.